Alright, it's floor 12 of the Spiral Abyss for patch 5.2. Here we go. Alright, Chamber 1. Now let us start with the first half. So, the two rock dudes, if you run to the side, they will run after you, which makes their timer, the one that makes them burrow and split and get far away from each other, reset because of their movement. So, the best thing you could do to keep them grouped is running to the wall like you see I'm doing here. So the second wave are the two Aramite trainers. The best way I found to deal with them, especially in this Taser team or Electro Charged, is by standing in the middle and having the Zappies just hit them. It does also hit the pets, which is really nice. It's a pretty decent AoE slash cleave team. If you don't have that, if you have Kazuha, you could hold E skill to suck everybody up. Oh boy, and let me tell you about these Consecrated Beasts. This makes Circle Impact so frustrating to play. The best way I found to deal with them is to run to the wall directly behind them, directly behind where they spawn, and just have your back to the wall so when they push you, you're not being pushed around, you're being pushed back into the wall. And because they stay like charging at you, or all their movement abilities just focus you, if you stay at that wall, they won't get too far. This was just a bad setup on my end. And here is a better representation of what I mean by bringing them to the back wall. Alright, and now we're cutting back to that first clear I was doing with the Lynette Yunjin team. Alright, so the second side of floor 12, chamber 1, is just going to be the two Geo Vishops. It's going to be the two babies. They're pretty easy, they just jump on top of you. That's about it. The second wave, we are going to have the Primogeo Bishop. He is Electro for this Abyss cycle. So if you are an Electro-based team, I would either bring a ton of Electro Shred units with VV or damage boosts, or it's going to be a little rough, I will be honest. I'm playing Hyper Bloom, which again isn't really Electro damage. Hyper Bloom is Dendro. Kuki is just there to proc them with Electro as well as heal the team. If you do have a shielder, he actually does take damage when he hits you. I didn't use a shielder on the specific team, but you are more than welcome to. He doesn't really, he does hit kind of hard, but there's not really too many mechanics to him. Alright, so if you have Farina, the Gold Flame Kukusaur Tyrant is actually a pretty easy boss to deal with, because while you're kind of AFK in the middle while he's in the air, Farina's pets will be hitting him. So it does actually do quite a bit of shield damage there. If you don't have Farina though, the best thing you could do is stand at the furthest crystal when he summons two. There's always going to be one that's closer to him and one that is out towards the edge. When he goes to the furthest one, it is a very quick second, but the second he flies over a crystal and you break it, he gets stunned in that area. He's still in the air, so characters like Xingqiu, who has really high vertical rain swords, he can hit the Kukusaur, as well as Yelan's rain swords as well, or bow and arrow characters like Tartag. Even Nuvolet's Hydro could actually reach him. Just you have to make sure to pop that furthest one when he dives over to it. In this specific team comp, I actually did not use Farina's pets early when he was going up because I wanted to showcase here, if you pop those crystals when he's diving in, you will stun him and he won't be moving around as much. So that is why I held the Farina, but you could see here that it makes him a lot easier to hit. And keep in mind, you do not need Farina. This is just how you deal with the boss for other Hydro characters such as Xingqiu, Tartag, Neviet, etc. Alright, so I know this boss has been giving people a lot of trouble, the Tenebrious Papilla. So if you don't have Natlan characters, it is the shield on this guy doesn't work based on elemental damage he takes. It is based on the amount of elemental hits. So characters that have infused autos like a Lynette, or here I'm using a Hyper Bloom team, they those trigger it. However, Night Soul characters or Night Soul aligned attacks get extra multipliers for the hits. So let's say I don't know the exact number of his shield off the top of my head, but let's say he needs 50 hits, right? A regular elemental hit is 2 hits. But if you have a Night Soul aligned character from Natlan, instead of their hits counting for 2, it'll count as 4 or 5, if that makes sense. Again, those are not the actual numbers. I actually don't know how many hits it is. I just know Hyper Bloom clears it very fast, as well as Natlan characters. I didn't use Chuska. I didn't use Kaniche. I actually just played a full 4-star team. No weapons that are 5-star or anything like that. Just C6s on my Lynette, Fischl, and Xingqiu. My Auroron is C1. Alright, it is the Geo Wolflord in Chamber 3. It is honestly the bane of my existence as someone who absolutely hates Geo. This boss, you don't need Geo, but for time-saving reasons, if you're trying to 36, you do want to bring a Geo to this team. He does have an not invulnerability, but he does take reduced damage when he is spawning in, so don't blow your load completely as soon as you start the chamber. So what he does is, if you do get good RNG where he does a tailspin and he just rests on the ground, that is good. However, you see me here, I got bad RNG where he was mostly in the air and not touching the ground, where he uses his dragon breath or the tail sweep. So I was kind of unfortunate there. But here I am going in using Yunjin to break the skulls. You also see me using Furina's elemental infusion there to try to break it, but as you can see, the bar does fill up a lot slower. Alright, so here are a couple other Geo characters breaking it. We have Kachina. We have Garo, who wasn't able to break a wolf head with both an E and a Q. I actually had to use Kachina's burst here. Alright, second side is pretty easy. So the Aeon Blight Drake also has damage reduction when he spawns in. So you kind of have to wait until he goes into the sky. But while you're waiting for him to go up into the sky, you can save time by setting up. And the second he goes in, you saw how I just aimed there on Yelan, and I just started going in on everything. So he's pretty simple, very easy boss. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. If you guys want to know why I did put Yoon Jin in my like taser team with Farina and Auroron, it's simply because I need a Geo there for the Wolf Lord. If what you have to do to get your 36 is carry a Geo and do a 3-man team with your 4th slot being a Geo, just so you could break the wolf heads in 36, by all means do that. You could always go back to chamber 1 and 2 with real teams. That is it for my video. Thank you so much for watching once again. I do appreciate it. If you do want Abyss help, I do viewer Abyss at twitch.tv, Tula133. Just go ahead and reach out to me when I'm streaming. I typically stream Monday through Friday with a 2 p.m. EST start. So if you want to drop by, say hi. There's my Twitch. Bye.